this is this back and forth going on between Jane Street and SEBI in the last few minutes. So I just want to update viewers on that, and we'll get that on our screen very quickly. So remember, Jane Street has written to employees. NDTV Profit is in possession of that letter where they've said that malicious, erroneous. This is how they've described the SEBI order. SEBI has responded with a comment in which they say, as with all SEBI's order, the July 3rd order is a speaking order that clearly lays out SEBI's prima facie case and addresses all relevant areas and questions. At this stage, we have nothing to add to what is already contained, explained and reasoned in this order. So look at what Jane Street is saying. They're saying, we made multiple requests to discuss concerns, but were consistently rebuffed. It is very rare that you see this kind of a statement versus statement out in the open by a large investor cohort who has been put in the dock by SEBI. So they're getting defiant, and SEBI responding at this rate is not something that we usually see as well. In fact, Sajid has all of those details. So Sajid, we are in possession of that Jane Street letter to employees. What do they say? And then what does SEBI say?
You know, the Jane Street is clearly, denying any of the allegations made by the SEBI's order, especially with respect to the kind of options trading they did. They are basically saying that the SEBI's order is based on erroneous and unsupported assertions. And also, they go on to say that they've been engaging with SEBI since August of 2024. And since then, there have been several meetings, but subsequently, their entire request to discuss the concerns were rebuffed by the regulator. We've been talking to the regulator for the last couple of days, and now the regulator has responded that, as you read out, that it's a speaking order of July 3rd, and it basically means that they have to submit the entire amount in an escrow account unless if they want to continue trading in the Indian markets. So SEBI has not barred them from trading per se, but the gains or the illegal gains which SEBI is claiming that Jane Street made on 21 days of since Jan of 23 to March 2025, that gains have to be deposited in escrow account till further investigation is done and the entire investigation is completed. What SEBI is also trying to say is that they have just done the superficial analysis of the numbers, and that's why it's a speaking order. It needs a detailed examination of all the trades that has happened in that period, and it will also mean that looking at each and every day of trade of Jane Street, not only Jane Street, but if there are other entities also which are in, and looking at similar strategies which are coming into the market and in other indices as well. So far it has been only restricted to Bank Nifty. It may go to Nifty, it may go to Fin Nifty, and it may also look at Sensex. So these are some of the indices which will be under investigation. Remember, this is a huge amount of data which needs to be processed, and processing of this data will take some time, and that's what SEBI is saying, that the final orders may take at least 6 months to a year before a final conclusion can come in, or basically
thank you for that, Sajid. Neeraj, what really strikes me is that Jane Street is coming back strong, they're coming back hard, and they are now making a counter accusation that we tried to reach out to you, SEBI, but you rebuffed us. They're playing the victim card.
Yeah, and partly you could expect this to happen as well, but considering the fact that SEBI would have done its homework on making an order of this magnitude on an institution this large, and this may not be the only action, because we hear murmurs, Tamanna, of it may not only be restricted to Jane Street. I would suspect that while this will continue to be ugly, as we had discussed, right, when this came out, that this is not the end of it. This is probably just the beginning of it. The question only remains, how far does this go, and for how long does this go? I would suspect fairly long.
For those of us who know the specific whole-time member of SEBI who's authored this, Anant Narayan, I mean, his credentials as someone who does his homework is impeccable.
As meticulous as they come.
Yeah, it comes from academia. I mean, just that to me, lends a lot of credibility. Okay, Sajid wants to come in with a point on this. Yes, Sajid?
Tamanna, Jane Street has been in touch with, and SEBI has been in touch with Jane Street since August of 2024. It was in December or January of this year that they found that there's something wrong in the kind of trades that has been done by Jane Street, and they were engaging with them. After February, there was a lull in the trading pattern of Jane Street as per SEBI sources. And then finally they found that suddenly April onwards, or after that April end and May, we saw on May 15 that there was a sudden increase in the trading activity that again came into Jane Street. And that's when SEBI got into the action, and they said that they want to come into the entire picture and give a speaking order to curb their trading till further investigation comes in. Remember, this is a huge trading data which has to be analyzed, and they were doing that quietly. And they were engaging with Jane Street, and Jane Street, did go for a pause after February of 2025 for a couple of months, and then again they started the trading in May. And on May 15th, when they saw that there was a huge trade that happened on the Nifty, and it was trying to manipulate the Nifty or change the direction of the market, that's when they decided to come back heavily and put this speaking order.
Yeah, so I think it's erroneous and malicious of Jane Street to say that SEBI never spoke to them, because from what Sajid is telling us, this is a conversation that has been ongoing, and we definitely have to take that in mind. Also remember, we were the first and the only channel to get this comment on video from SEBI, and the whole time member Mr. Vashni spoke to us, and we'll get that for you in a bit. All right.